Welcome to the Noface Show. I see a lot of, I call them on the surface wannabes. Like, this game ain't some on the surface shit. You're either
No.
in or not. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
that's it, man.
like you
And
know
it's
what
like,
I mean?
and it brings me back to the word earlier, tenacity, bro. Like,
Yeah.
there is nothing, you know, the amount of times I've failed, people told me I can't rap, but I can't sing. Like, it's impossible to do music. You'll never make it. You know, I've had labels turn me away, tell me that, you know, everything you can imagine has happened to me, where people have given me every reason to give up and doubt myself. But you just have to like get into like a real tunnel vision mindset where it's like you don't have to know how you're going to get there all the time, but as long as you know where the destination is, you just fucking focus on that and just work your ass off, man. That's
that
it.
like that moment that you told me, Pacha Ibiza, you know, like the first time I played there, like that's kind of like a thing for me. Like, for example, when I get back to, when I get back my, like some of the Ibiza residencies and things like that, like right there, you just said a couple of lines right there that, like, when we're done with the session, that's the reason why I'm gonna spend the rest of the weekend making music, bro.
Yeah.
Because I know that feeling, bro. And then after that, you go to the terrace and take a couple of yerbas shots with the boys and stuff. Ooh, bro, it's that air, bro. When you land in a beat, like, for those of you kids that are trying to make it, fight for the air. When you land in Ibiza, yo, fight for that air, dude. Like, when you come out, you're like, yes.
Ushuaia's sick as well. I did.
Oh, dude, Ushuaia, bro.
Ushuaia's sick, man.
Bro, like, there's so much beauty in this industry. That's why I love, like, for example, I love it because I understand it. Like, for example, if somebody told me, is like, hey, why don't you get into, like, maybe this or that, like, I don't, like, I know the electronic scene like the back of my hand. I know all the clubs. I, like, I know all the places. So it's almost kind of like when they call you back for those certain shows, you're coming in, you already know exactly what shoes to wear. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. And the community is awesome. And I think that you're right. Like, it may be plateaued, but this next generation, I'm telling you, bro, like, you're gonna see it more and more as you're involved with maybe us and stuff. Bro, this next generation are hardcore EDM people. Bro, hardcore. Man. Like, it's next level stuff.
Do you know what it is? It's like, this music game, it's not for the weak-hearted. It's like, you have to be, it's a beautiful thing. It's like, passion, it's expression, all of that. But I'm telling you now, if you haven't got thick skin, and you're easily, like, slowed down, or, you let people plant seeds of doubt, you're not going to last. So, and just because you may have been like that in the past doesn't mean that you can't change the way you are, change the way you act, and change the way, you feel. You got to be very, very tough to commit to a life of music, unless you're really lucky and you have a big break. But then, even then, it's not easy,
It's even harder then. If you're not prepared, it's even harder.
Exactly, because then you're like a fish out of water. So
there's a thing about that, is like, when I was working with Steve Angelo a lot, I remember Antoine would always, when Avicii was really, really popping off, like, heavy, and we had these conversations. We're like, damn, maybe we should be doing more of X, Y, and Z, because, like, even when you're at the top, you're always comparing to other artists yourself. You always want to be bigger than anything. You know what I mean? And then I'll never forget something that Steve was, and it ended up being kind of true, since, with the tragic death of Avicii and stuff. He was saying, he's like, dude, I would choose the slow climb any day of the week, and I would choose the slower the better. He's like, listen, because Steve is one of those guys, like, I admired him so much, and I still do to this day. Like, he's one of those guys, it's not about if, it's just when. That's with him. That's exactly how it is.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
It's important. It is important, but it is important to have balance in your life, though, as well. Like, because I burnt myself out when I first started. I thought the more time I spend doing it, the better I'll be, and the more it will make sense. And even though that was good in the learning stages of like learning how to do lyrics, learning how to rap, record, sing, all of these things, it was good then. But you know, it can become like a routine to spend too much time doing it and not see the bigger picture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you gotta take a step back, and then the thing is, like, I actually, when those years when I really went in trying to figure out what the next move is, those are the years actually that were the least productive years, because as
Yeah.
soon as I took a step back and I was like, okay, let me see, maybe I should do this, or maybe because you know, I see a lot of guys, like, they read on the internet, they're like, okay, I heard that you need to release four tracks a month, and it's like, I mean, release 4 tracks a month if you're a savage, where you're just like, yo, listen, I want to release 4 tracks a month, but don't do something just because somebody else has written about it. Or for example, everybody's like, I see these kids, dude, I get demos, they're like, yo, check out my like slap bass cover or this. It's like, dude, like, that's not how you make it, you know what I mean? Like,
It's got to be calculated.
One thing that I learned from the day one, when I'm friends with a lot of really big radio executive guys, and they always tell me, they're like, listen, we get managers send us demos, and they're like, hey, check it out, I manage this kid, and this single that we just did, it's like Calvin Harris vibes. And the guy is like, why would I play Calvin Harris vibes when I can play Calvin Harris?
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
I want to give another bit of advice as well to anybody. Like, I can't underestimate how important like focusing on your health is for your music. Like, you know, like if you try and stay as healthy as you can, and you try and stay active, that gives you more mental power, and that really is the facts. Because, you know, when I was younger, I didn't ever train, or I wasn't really conscious about health. And since then, I have been for quite a while, and I can tell you that the benefits just are never ending to how it can affect your music in a positive way. Do you know what I mean? Because you just feel better from the inside out, and your mind's more clear. So I can't underestimate how important staying active is, because making music is sitting in a fucking chair for hours. Do you know what I'm saying? Like hours and hours and hours. So more so than anything, it's like having an office job, but we're just making music. But that's why it's so important to get moving, to stay active, you know, all of that stuff.
I love this conversation so much. I was saying we're gonna make a new section in the podcast for this. We're gonna call it the motivational section.
Yeah, do it.
This is gonna be the section where we just motivate our audience, because it's really awesome that this conversation came out.